I don't know. Right. Call the meeting to order. Please stand for the prayer by Pastor Greg Young with Cherry Mountain Baptist Church, and remain standing for the pledge.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you for the opportunity that you have given these men and women to have the opportunity to make decisions for this community. We pray, God, that you would provide them guidance, that you would give them wisdom that comes from on high and not as man gives. We thank you that we live in a country, a state, and a city that still looks to you and still leans upon you, and we pray that you will continue to do that, and that all that's said and done tonight would bring honor to King Jesus, for it's in his name that we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, roll call.
Mayor Corbett.
Here.
Alderman Matthews.
Here.
Alderman Silver.
Here.
Alderman Spicer.
Here.
Alderman Wall.
Here. We need to adopt the agenda. Do I have a motion?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Need to approve the minutes from the July 27th special called Board of Mayor and Aldermen meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
A second.
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I'd like to welcome our visitors. Thank you for coming. We have a public comment section, but nobody has signed up to speak. So we'll go on to the public hearings.
Sorry. Well, we have a proclamation right before that.
Did I miss the proclamation?
We amended the agenda to add.
Oh, okay. Sorry. All right. So yeah, we do have a proclamation tonight. Robert's family, would you want to come up?
Unless y'all don't, live with us. For some reason, I don't live with you. You do, get up here.
Which one's Gavin?
Gavin, right here. Raise your hand. Say, raise your hand. Turn around. Is your name Gavin? Say hi. Everybody, hi. Hi.
I understand Gavin had a 7th birthday a couple days ago.
Yep.
So happy birthday to Gavin.
See it.
Yep, birthday.
Say birthday?
Yeah.
You say thank you?
See it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to read this proclamation and I'll sign it and you guys can have it. So.
Okay.
All right. Whereas Kleefstra syndrome is a rare genetic disorder characterized by intellectual disability, low muscle tone, severe expressive speech delay, and a distinctive facial appearance with a spectrum of additional features. It is estimated about 1 in 25,000 individuals are born with this condition. And whereas people living with this condition may also suffer from seizures, sleep disorders, autism, developmental delays, regressive behavior, and more. And whereas addressing the complex medical needs early in life is imperative to helping families successfully care for their children at home. The need for more education, awareness, and support for families is desperately needed. And whereas it is appropriate that one day each year should be set apart from the rest and be known as Kleefstra Syndrome Awareness Day. This day shall be on September 17th. And whereas I Define, a nonprofit charitable organization founded by parents, wants to help support these individuals through our continued efforts of empowering families, fueling research, and educating communities. And now, therefore, I, John Corbett, as Mayor of the City of White House, and on behalf of the entire Board of Mayor and Aldermen, do hereby proclaim September 17th, 2023 to be known in the City of White House as Kleefstra Syndrome Awareness Day, and urge our citizens, patients, caregivers, medical professionals, and all agencies and organizations interested in supporting these families to unite on that day in observance of such exercises. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of White House to be affixed on the 17th day of August 2023. And Gavin is one of 5 in the state of Tennessee, right? I believe?
23.
23. And one of 500 in the United States?
Yeah.
So it's,
Yes.
He was the first federal case.
Wow.
okay. That's it. You guys, you want to, everybody come pose for
Yeah.
a picture?
Definitely. You want to hold it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Wait just a minute.
Bye.
In a minute. Can you hold it with your hand? I got you guys. Thank you. Ready?
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Hey, can you tell Mr. Derek bye?
Bye.
Yep.
Goo.
Come on, we'll go outside and we'll take the picture.
Goo.
No, we're not looking cool. Come on.
Green.
That's in the morning.
Yeah.
I didn't sign up to speak, but I would like to talk to y'all after the meeting.
Goo.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you. Okay, public hearings. Ordinance 23-12, an ordinance establishing the tax rate for the tax year 2023. We'll open that public hearing. Nobody signed up to speak, so we'll close it. Communication. Alderman Matthews. Alderman Spicer. Alderman Silver. Alderman Wall.
Well, since this is my first official meeting, I just wanted to show my appreciation for the opportunity to be in this seat, and hopefully I will be able to make everyone proud and work for the city like I should. So I appreciate this opportunity. I do.
Welcome.
Thank you.
City Attorney.
I don't have anything.
Good. City Administrator.
Yes, sir. I have a few things I'd like to go over with you and the board. Start with the wastewater treatment facility expansion. It's still progressing. A picture of it. You see that there? There was a switch gear that was a critical component that's been on back order for quite a while, and it's finally arrived. So we're looking to be at substantial completion. They said January 31st of 2024. Then a couple months after that, they should be completely done. Phase 3 of 5 on the southern force main collection line. That line would be from the DC Road, SET area back to the treatment plant. They've already staged their pipe and they've milled the road already. And so they should start digging, we think, the trench next week. Next thing would be our tennis courts, which after they were built, they were hit by a heavy storm and did a lot of damage, but we do not have those repaired, and they're open for use right now. We're still planning a ribbon cutting and dedication as soon as we can get our dedication plaque in. So I'm hoping maybe sometime yet in September, early October. We'll make arrangements with the family and stuff like that so we can have that ribbon cutting. The recreation center is under construction. I know I got a little video there, some of the work there. Rain days all summer slowed the project down, but they are working now on doing the perimeter foundation and under concrete plumbing, so I'm pretty pleased with the work that they're getting done while they're working around puddles of water. But it's getting, once they get that foundation in, we'll start seeing a lot more activity going on. So, the next thing would be the White House Heritage High School Extension Road. It is complete now. We are very pleased with the Rogers Group in building a quality road and getting it done in our strict time constraints that we put on them. So it was ready for when school started. I do know that some of you have been asked about why no sidewalk was built along the road. First, our primary concern for building this road was to reduce the number of vehicles and potential vehicular crashes involving students and parents at the state route intersections with Pleasant Grove Road and New Hall Road. That was our highest priority. Second, there was no sidewalk from the back of the school along their existing road. So there would have been quite a distance for the walking students to enter the building with no sidewalk from where ours would have stopped, so still would have had safety concerns along the road that they had already built. Our design of the road was approved by the director of schools prior to construction, so they definitely had a chance to review it. There was no request to add a sidewalk during that review. As a reminder, this road is an extension, is a private drive. Our agreement with the county and with the county commissioner and school board was that the road would be maintained by them from here on out. It's their asset, and they would control the access at their discretion. I know they do plan on putting a gate up there, which will probably be closed when there's no activity going on at the school, probably during the weekends and other times. But most part, I think the gate will be driven by the parents and students wanting to get in and out of there. So I expect it'll probably be open most of the time. From our observation, this new access into the back of the school is functioning as we had hoped. So this concludes my report, unless there's any questions from any board members. Thank you.
All right. Need to acknowledge our reports. Motion.
Motion to acknowledge.
Okay. Second.
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consideration of the following resolutions. Resolution 23-09, a resolution to adopt the Sumner County Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan. Motion.
Motion to discuss. Sorry. Motion to discuss.
Okay.
I was
Second.
trying not to check the
Second.
I'll second.
Okay.
Yeah, Mayor, what's this board, this is a resolution that we do. I think it's every 5 years. They have to reevaluate Sumner County reevaluates their hazard mitigation plan. We've never had this come up on Robertson County side, but Sumner is pretty regular about this. And they do get input. Chief McLaughlin, I know you were part of that input. If you don't mind coming up and if there's any highlights or anything that you want to discuss with it, I know that
they try and get input from every agency in Sumner County, school board, Allstate College, and this is just kind of an agreement that should there become federal funds available, we'll be able to take part in that and maybe give us a little bit of an edge.
And Chief McLaughlin is our point of contact when it comes to the hazard mitigation plan.
Any questions?
Where's the copy of that plan at? Do they keep it on their website? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
It's on their website, and we'll actually have hard copies.
I know I keep a copy in my office. I think you do too. I'm not sure if Chief Brady gets a copy. He does have one too.
Any other discussion? Okay. We have a motion.
Motion to approve.
Okay. Second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Resolution 23-10, a resolution approving certain amendments and revisions to the Purchasing Procedures Manual. Motion.
Motion to discuss.
Second.
Second.
Okay.
Mayor, as by ordinance, I'm the purchasing agent for the city, then I'm allowed to delegate, and I delegated that task to Derek, and then he has a staff member, Carol. I'm not sure Carol's not here tonight, but she's responsible for overseeing all of our purchasing. And Derek, do you want to highlight anything specifically you want to tell them what we're trying to do here?
Yep. And I'll try to, for the audience, scroll through as we're doing it. So in your packet, page 64, and page 3 of the manual. So this resolution 17-07, that was the original resolution, or the last resolution that we did to update it. This will be replaced with the current resolution that we currently have. If we jump to page 65, the table of contents, the only thing that there are some page numbers that change on this, but the main point was that we added Appendix H and also removed Appendix D. And then page 67, as Jerry said, we added that designee because the designee is also Carol, just so it's clearly stated that there is a designee. On page 71, so part of I'm going to try to do a brief overview of purchasing. So there's 3 thresholds. One is from $0 to $9,999. That's threshold number 1. We try to get 3 quotes, but it's not mandatory to get 3 quotes. Anything above $10,000, it's mandatory we get 3 quotes. When we hit the threshold of $25,000, that is when we have to have a sealed bid or sealed proposal or anything like that, and go from there. So out of all of that, there is a requisition form that kind of starts off that basis. It basically tells purchasing what are they getting, and stuff like that. So we changed, it's more of a procedural because we have a new software or a newer software called Tyler Technologies. It's more of an online process. It's not paper anymore. So it's just cleaning up that language to make it more of a, instead of, oh, we're handing this person this piece of paper, it's all digital now. So that language there. Purchase orders, again, this is all the same thing, just added the approval steps through the Tyler software. We, on page 73, we took away the departmental purchase orders. That was a paper form. It was a small, we call it a small purchase order internally. That just, anything that under the $10,000 threshold we use, but now that's all digital. So we don't use that paper anymore. So that we completely eliminated that. We added the packing slip on page 74 as an additional receiving report instead of having an actual form, because there is a form that we can, when we receive items, letting AP know that we received it. We can also have the packing slip, the original packing slip as well, count for that. So bid proposals, we just kind of cleaned up the threshold clarification, and then also we added our website to where we can, because it was just the local newspaper, but as we're trying to get more digital, we're adding our website there as well. And then instead of 5 days prior to a bid opening, we have it 10 days. So it gives it more time, so we're not just throwing out a bid and then receiving bids. The next page, we're trying to do, again, more electronic bids. So this adds language into it, so we can eventually accept electronic bids. Instead of, we still have them mailed to us, hard copy. So we're trying to get as digital as we can. Page 82. That is for the asset disposal. We added some forms that it's called gov deals. When we dispose of the asset, we sell it on gov deals. So there's some forms that are added at the end at the back of the packet that departments will fill out to basically help us dispose of those the appropriate items. On page 85, we have removed the credit card charge log because that is actually not filled out anymore. It's an old form. We actually now use just a credit card statement. Each department has their own P card statement, and we process everything on that statement. And at the very end, again, just appendixes on page 93 and 98. We just removed those appendix. Try to get to it. So page 93, that was what the old purchase order looked like, the paper document. And then on page 98, we added the forms. And that's pretty much all of it in a nutshell. Any questions?
What newspaper are we using?
The Connection, White House Connection.
Okay. Wasn't sure.
For Appendix I, the credit card user agreement, is that for the P cards and everyone has to sign it?
Let me get to that.
I think that's what it said earlier.
Appendix I. No, so that's the credit card user agreement. So that is, every employee signs off on that. It's in their personnel orientation where they allow, it's basically the city, they're signing off saying, if we give you a credit card and you're basically charging appropriately, you're not going out there misusing funds or anything like that. It's kind of what that form is.
Derek, with the electronic template, how are we handling electronic signatures? So Jerry, you sign off on all of the POs, right? Mm-hmm. So is that password protected, or is there compliance to that?
So there's only 3 people that have access to issuing a purchase order. Actually, sorry, 4. Jerry, myself, Carol, who's the main person that does it, and then also Jason Barnes, the finance director. And those are also the 4 signatures that are on it, and we each have our own access to each other's signatures. Like my signature will be on there, and then that we can access, like I can put on there, and then Jason, when he's on there, he can sign off on it as well. Because once it gets to 10,000 or more, Jason will have to, go, like, if I approve a purchase order, it will then go to Jason to approve it, and once he approves it, it goes back to me to basically issue the purchase order where I can put my signatures and stuff on it.
But you're having to log in through.
Yes, sir.
Tyler
Yes, oh, yeah, so we have to
Okay.
log into Tyler Technologies.
Invoices are a little bit different, when they come in, we hand sign those coming in for the most part, every once in a while.
Yeah, but it's getting more digital, people are starting to electronically sign those as well, as they come in and process and send them via email.
Any other questions, comments? All right, we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
All right, second?
Second.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Consideration of the following ordinances. Ordinance 23-12, an ordinance establishing the tax rate for the tax year 2023, second reading. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Alderman Matthews,
Aye.
Alderman Silver,
Aye.
Alderman Spicer,
Aye.
Alderman Wall,
Aye.
Mayor Corbett.
Aye. All right, ordinance 23-13, an ordinance amending the municipal code Title II, Chapter 2, Library Board, Section 2-201, first reading. We got a motion to discuss?
Motion to discuss.
Second?
Second.
All right, Elizabeth?
In the state standards, we have to review our bylaws, and so this is actually where it came up. The library board was reviewing the bylaws, and in there it follows the city ordinance that says that no more than 5 members can be of the same sex. And they thought that could be a bit discriminatory, and also since the board mayor and alderman approved the board members before it's put on the before they're appointed, that would be a way to keep the board diverse and have a good representation for the library board. So they voted to recommend that you guys change that in the city ordinance. Any questions?
I think we're good. All right, we got a motion?
Motion to approve.
A second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, to purchasing, to approve or reject the change order from Covenant Constructors LLC in the amount of $282,674.25 for the Apache Trail portion of the box culverts project. Public Services Director recommends approval.
Motion to
All
discuss.
right, second?
Second.
All right.
So basically, this is the last, we actually bid out 4 sections, but 3 different projects. Villages, Court at East and West, and we had Hobbs, and then we had Apache. We pulled it out last year, built up on balance up, and now we've got a change order to put it back into the budget and have it completed this year.
This is in the budget, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
That was our concern, it was high on the end of the last year's budget, so we wanted to make sure we purchased what we could, and all the piping and everything, all the infrastructure's in.
Yes.
It's just, we're just waiting out for the labor to install.
Correct.
So we'll make sure we budget enough money this year to cover
We didn't
it.
know if there was gonna be an emergency, so we wanted to say we held back, just to be safe.
When do you plan on installing that? Once it's delivered?
Well,
Or you have everything?
we already have actually all the product here, but the water lines run away, and fortunately for us, Covenant Constructors actually got the project for White House Utility District as well. So they already had the pre-con, so it should be moving right along, because they're wanting to do it now, they were wanting to start last month. On a patch that you can't do it, I don't have it approved yet, so as soon as we get this approved, they'll probably start knocking it out.
Good. Any other discussion? All right, we got a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. To approve or reject the sole source purchase of a replacement in-plant lift station from Southern Sales, Tencarva Machinery Company in the amount of $164,600. Public Service Director recommends approval. Motion?
Motion to discuss.
Second?
Second.
Again, the original one's in the plant, dilapidated. Currently, with all the new infrastructure going in, we're gonna have a lot more backflow going to that current lift station. The one pump that's there now cannot handle the flow, so this pump right here will be an upgrade. It'll be a dual pump system, and one pump will be able to handle all the flow, so if it fails, we have a redundancy in place.
Questions, comments? All right, got a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. To approve or reject the purchase of a new Silverado 6500 truck with snowplow package off statewide contract number 72307 in the amount of $112,586.64. The Public Services Director recommends approval. A motion?
Motion to discuss?
Second?
Second.
All right.
So I'm kind of proud of this one because we budgeted 160 based off our numbers last year. We got it for 112, outfitted completely except for the light package. So when we get it in, we'll send a trucker's lighthouse, probably cost $2 or $3 grand for that. But we have 4 quadrants to do this. I got Frank Park to plow snow.
Okay.
I'm from Florida, so it can be great. So this will be the 4th truck for the 4th quadrant. So.
This will be the 4th truck for
Yes.
the 4th quadrant?
Yeah, we have
We
3
have 3
trucks
already?
currently. This will
Okay.
be the 4th outfitted truck.
And the other ones are dump trucks, the
Yes,
full-size
sir.
dump?
Yeah. We have dump trucks, we have a dually, and I think 2 dump trucks and 1 dually.
What all functions will this truck,
Sir?
what all functions will this truck have?
You have the plow in the front and the salt box in the back, and it'll also be a dump bed, so we can use it as a dump truck as well.
So you can use it year-round instead of
Yes,
just
sir.
for snow?
Yep.
Okay.
You guys even deleted Cyrus. Cyrus?
Yep.
Oh,
Sirius,
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 okay.
yeah. They deleted it. Good job.
I like my guy, but come on.
Yeah. I'm supposed to be listening to Margaritaville radio all day. All right. Any other comments, questions? You got a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. To approve or reject the purchase of a new rescue pumper truck in the amount of $989,999 with an initial down payment of $100,000 from Siddons, Martin, and Pierce Manufacturing off the Sourcewell Cooperative Contract number 113021-OKC. The Fire Chief recommends approval. Got a motion?
Motion to discuss.
Second?
Second.
All right. Chief?
So this will be, we'll be replacing a 25-year-old rescue pumper that we have now. Will increase our capabilities. Will also increase our capabilities in anticipation of a 3rd crew responding on emergencies. Not a Cadillac, but it's not a bargain basement truck either. So be 1,000 gallons of water, 1,500 gallons per minute pump. We'll hold rescue tools, firefighting equipment. We'll have storage for medical equipment. It'll be a go-to truck.
Tell them how long it's going to take to get this.
Oh, yeah. We're also doing this now because the estimated delivery date could be 2 to 3 years.
Wow.
Okay. When we lock in the price, you tried to, I think you tried to get this or is this the first year you've asked for it? Okay, okay.
The last one we got, I think it was Chief Palmer, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the same engine was just under 500,000.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, got any comments, questions?
No comment.
All right, got a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Truck carries. To approve or reject the proposal from Evergreen Solutions LLC for a compensation study in the amount of $35,500. The Human Resources Director recommends approval. Got a motion?
Motion to discuss.
Second?
Second.
Ed?
So we did request input out for RFPs for compensation studies. I believe it was out there for approximately a month, and we did receive 8 proposals for that. They ranged in prices from the lowest bidder, which was Evergreen for $35,500. The highest was $330,000. Obviously, we didn't entertain that one just based on just that alone. But Evergreen, we reviewed them individually as a part of the executive team. We all reviewed them individually, then came together and discussed them. I think it took about 2 hours for us to go through all of them, discussing them. And we still felt that although Evergreen was the lowest bidder, they still had the most comprehensive package for what we feel like we need. They're going to be reviewing job descriptions to make sure the employees are placed in the correct grades, to compare them to other firms. Evergreen is also unique in that they only work with governmental agencies. They work with local, state, and educational facilities, but they don't work with private industry. After they review the job descriptions, they're gonna request input from the employees on what their job duties are, review them with supervisors and department heads for accuracy, and then at that point, start looking at internal comparisons as well as external comparisons to make sure that everyone is in the appropriate places. They will provide recommendations. Once we receive those recommendations, we can look at an implementation plan. I did speak to their references, and all of their references said they're very happy with their work, and that they gave them a good plan to implement it over 2 to 3 years. That way it didn't hit their budget so badly in 1 year, but to phase it in to make it more equitable across the board, so.
The team we put together to do the evaluations, I had myself and Amanda, I had a benefits specialist, Sheila was on there, and I put the two chiefs, fire chief and police chief, because of they're the largest departments and they have scattered schedules the way they work and they're complicated, so I felt we needed their input throughout this process, so we'll keep the team together as we meet with Evergreen and as we go through the process. But we're hoping, we set the timeline up so that we can be ready to go when we get into our January budgeting process, and by March, we should be able to give you really good input as to where we think we're going with this whole thing.
Their timeline was 4 months in their proposal. That will still give me about another 6 weeks of wiggle room in case something goes wrong or it takes a little bit longer than expected.
When was the last comp study we've done?
We're not sure we've ever actually done an official comp study. Jerry and I don't remember one, and I can't find one anywhere in our records.
With the plan they're putting together, so we've never done a compensation study, but do we have a compensation plan in place right now with it?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so they're going to take a look at that.
Yes.
And evaluate it. So right now, do we do our own market surveys, or do we?
We have, based on the positions, how we have always looked at it is when we start to struggle to fill positions, we will do our own survey around cities with Sumner County and Robertson County, the ones that are about our size, the ones we're competing with the most often, to see what they're paying approximately for those rates. One of the things we did ask Evergreen to do is not just look at pay rate, but to look at the total compensation package. So they're going to take into account our benefits, vacation time, sick time, all of that, not just the dollar rate. But I think there have been 3 or 4 times we made adjustments to specific employee groups based on market rates in the area. Police officers, firefighters, wastewater tech ones, I know we've made adjustments there, and there have been some others as they've come along that I'm probably forgetting.
And then we look at the obvious, motivation of employees, turnover rate to see if that's having an effect. What, the market's like, COVID really kind of threw things off. Inflation took off on us. We were struggling with police. The plan we had together just started. We're starting to see some breaks in it. So I think this is a great opportunity for us to get back and readjust. I've already, in my first meeting with the employees, I've got another one coming up next Tuesday. But I told them some of them it may affect them where it may show that they're underpaid. Some it may show that they're overpaid. So there may be some areas where they may not get a raise for a little while, but we want to make sure we're pretty inclusive, making sure that, again, police and fire is involved, and
one of the biggest things that they will address is compression between pay grades and within pay grades, as the market has had to have adjustments, and Jerry and I have adjusted this annually based on what we've seen in the market over the last 10 years. To address that will help spread everybody back out, I think, is what we're going to see more than anything in this particular study.
And police has really just changed things on us. I mean, I've talked to Mayor Vogel, he said, we can't pay enough. I mean, you just can't find people. They're down 20, 30 people, I think. They're struggling. I mean, they're going to try to do a big increase this year, too, for their police. But we've done that, and we really think our benefit package is very competitive with everybody that's around us. But I don't know if they're going to be at the doctor level where they're going to start getting, $200,000 a year for police officers. I don't know. But we just can't seem to find anybody who want to apply. It's really getting struggles. Yeah.
When they're finished, if we approve this, what type of plan do they have for you to utilize year in and year out to keep from having to come back and perform an additional compensation? Do they leave a template in place for our department?
Yes, sir. One of the unique things about Evergreen, and it was an availability with one of the other firms, but it was an additional cost. They allow you to have access to their software, which helps you maintain your plan for several years after the plan is completed, which should help keep us from running into these problems in probably the next 5 years. Compensation studies are one of those things that typically are done every 5 to 10 years, depending on market. Right now, as Jerry said, we've reached the perfect point where I'm seeing a lot more compression issues in our current one, which is not something we've seen until the last probably 24 months. So I think staying on a 5 to 10 year cycle based on market trends would be a relatively accurate plan to take in the future. But their software will prevent us from needing to go to one every other year or something like that.
Any other questions, comments? I think this is a good thing. I mean, I want to make sure that we're taking care of our employees and paying, providing with what's fair.
Yeah, I don't have any issue with it. I think we should pay our employees competitive and provide them with good benefits, and also make sure the people that are underpaid are properly paid if we are overpaying people. The cost, did we negotiate pricing with them after they bid out? I know they came in on the low end. I was reading through, and I think it says, we are willing to negotiate time scope and cost on basic tasks.
No, sir. No negotiation was done because they were the lowest bidder, and they were within $2,800, I believe, of
Yeah,
four.
the bottom four were within $2,800 of each other. That's what made us really think, why are the four? And they were pretty competitive. And when we looked at the $331,000 one, it had the worst presentation.
It was handwritten.
Handwritten notes on it, tags. It was weird.
I felt like somebody got caught having supposed to have been submitted it, and then they didn't, and so it was like last minute, whoops, this is what I have on my desk, so this is what I'm going to turn in, kind of thing on that one.
Where is this coming out of our budget? I've got our budget.
It comes out, it's actually budgeted in my 200 contractual line, so it's human resources contractual.
Okay.
The 200 line.
That's what we planned on it. We talked about the budget season when we were going to do this year. And I think we budgeted $30,000, so it came over about $8,000 more.
Yes, sir. I've already, Sheila, my benefits specialist, and she handles the details of the budget. She and I have already sat down and come up with a way to make up the additional money out of my budget without needing a budget amendment or anything like that. It will require us to cut a few things that we would like to have, but are not necessarily, hopefully not going to be required, like computer replacements and that kind of thing.
Okay, good.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, we got a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, other business, to approve or reject the library board chair to enter into the Tennessee State Library and Public Library Service Agreement. The library director recommends approval. Got a motion?
Motion to discuss.
Perfect, second?
Second.
All right, approved.
So we sign this agreement every year. It basically lays out what the state is going to provide to the library and what we provide to the state. There were a few changes this year. They asked us to make sure that we do have a internet safety policy, collection development policy, and reconsideration of material policy. We have all those already in place, but they want us to make sure we're reviewing them at least once a year. Our policy committee is meeting next week to review it and then take it to the board in September. So we actually have until January 1st, I think, of 2024 to review that. So we are fine to go ahead and sign this form since we will be meeting that requirement before the January 1st deadline.
This one, they did have some changes that kind of threw both Elizabeth and I off. Based on a state law that passed and had to do with distributing materials to children, I think it was. So we had the daughter's office review it, and one of her attorneys gave us some recommendations, which I'm sure Elizabeth's probably reviewing to see if she needs to adopt those as a policy or not.
Any comments, questions? No? All right, got a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Last item, to approve or reject appointments to various boards and commissions. You guys have got the list. Happy to address any questions or comments. Otherwise, I'll take a motion.
Motion to approve.
Okay, second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. We have no discussion items, no other information. We are adjourned.
Yeah, thanks for making that motion in the library.